successful season, but I feel like Michigan always has had that chip on their shoulder. Michigan's always going to be doubted. The players who are stepping into new roles are always going to be doubted. So it really just feels like the same atmosphere. I think Cade McNamara's done a good job of trying to tell everybody that to maintain that atmosphere because we're not satisfied.
Welcome in. It was Taylor Upshaw, Michigan defensive end, number 91. Michigan's not satisfied with making the college football playoffs last year, not resting on their laurels. I'm making that last part up, but Upshaw, that's been the theme here in the spring. All right, you guys had a successful season. Are you just going to kick back and you're all set? Or, what are you going to do about it? And this is true in sports. And welcome in. It's Amazing Blue Review, Afternoon Live. I'm Dennis Fithian here, weekdays at 1 o'clock every day. We're part of Rivals. We are part of Rivals.com. Talk about the latest in Michigan sports. A lot of that has to do with football as we look towards the weekend and the spring game coming up on Saturday. But we do have some news regarding basketball, men's basketball, and an assistant coach who is staying put. And we'll definitely get to that here on this Wednesday, March the 30th, last Wednesday in March 2022. And I said we peek ahead towards the spring game on Saturday. And what is true in sports, it is very difficult getting there and winning a championship. Look at Michigan. It was a long time ago, but it used to be like winning the Big Ten. That was the big deal. Get your next ring, and Michigan was winning a lot of Big Ten championships. And then the drought came about, and 1 year turned into 5, turned into double digits, and then all the way until last year, they were finally able to break through and able to win the Big Ten, go to Indy, beat Ohio State, go to the college football playoff, everything. And so, and that was hard. It was hard getting there. But it's harder to stay. It's harder to repeat. So almost to a man last year, if you listen to them, coaches, players, when they talked about what makes this team special or when did you see it, and all of them answered spring ball. Started in the spring, an energy, young enthusiasm, music at practice, bouncing their step, some variation of a new energy, and it started in spring ball. So hearing I like Taylor Upshaw, senior, a leader, I think will be voted one of the captains myself after. They don't vote after spring ball. They wait till fall camp, but I think, Upshaw will be the pick there. At least that'd be my selection right now. And yeah, you'd like to hear about that energy and hunger again this year, since that's what they all pointed to last year. So that makes sense. At least it's making sense to me. What about you? You can always use the feedback here, wherever you're watching this. If you're watching it after the fact, like I said, we're here every day at 1 o'clock, and we comment as you are leaving your feedback. So you have the availability to do that. So have at it. I mentioned basketball. I want to just get those. It's breaking news. Just taking a look at it here. Tony Paul writes for the Detroit News. He does a wonderful job covering the Mid-American Conference and what's going on from presidents to general manager or athletic directors to coaches. And Paul has been on top of this Western Michigan basketball search, and Saddi Washington, Michigan assistant, a Western alum, turned him down a couple of years ago. That job is open again, and it didn't take a lot to put two and two together and think that the Broncos probably kicked the tires on Saddi Washington again. Here's the breaking news. Paul, in a tweet just a few minutes ago, said, for a variety of reasons, his family comfort in Ann Arbor, chief among them, Michigan assistant basketball coach Saddi Washington, if he hasn't already, is expected to sign an extension after passing on the Western Michigan University head coaching job for a second time. So good luck to Western Michigan. Good news for the University of Michigan, because at some point, when you're Howard Isley, when you're Saddi Washington, it's going to happen. You're having success in Ann Arbor. It's going to be other teams that come knocking, come looking for you. And this is the second time here. Saddi staying put and waiting. So again, good news for Michigan, and that just coming out a few minutes ago from TP over at the Detroit News. Good job there, Terry or Tony. Terry. All right. Speaking of the spring game, I'm going to talk running backs. Michigan got a commitment yesterday. We'll watch a little video on that particular recruit coming up here, but I also thought we'd throw in some running backs. And Michigan loses Hassan Haskins. Everybody else coming back. That includes off the jump, Blake Corum, who you think about last year, like for most of the year, it was a tandem. They called it Thunder and Lightning. I guess Corum would have been the Lightning in the Thunder and Lightning equation there, but you go through the season from the opener to Washington. Michigan had 56 carries for 343 yards against the Huskies, and then on their first, they scored touchdowns against the Northern Illinois on their first 9 drives. 8 of them were rushing touchdowns. They established that ground game, and that was going to be part of it. And it was a 1-2 punch for the majority of the year. You look, Corum, 19 carries, 119 yards. Haskins, 23 carries, 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. This is just as you go through here. That was against Northwestern all the way in the middle of the season. And then neither really had anything going against Michigan State. And then Corum got hurt for a stretch of games there. And Haskins, you remember, instead of spreading it out, they just said, let's just load up the saddle on Haskins, and he was ready for it. And he did a good job. Hassan Haskins did, of shouldering the load. But if you remember, when Blake came back, he had a big 55-yard run against Ohio State. That was early in the second half. Remember that? That was one of the biggest plays of the game against the Buckeyes. Also, just on the season, 12 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards, and that was missing mostly 3 games there. So he had easily gone over 1,000 yards if he would have stayed healthy. He also, back to the opener, had a kickoff return. Henning is normally the deep man there, but the second man back there, it was Blake Corum. He had that 79-yarder big play against the Broncos in the opener, and he also had a big run against Iowa in the Big Ten title game. I feel pretty good about Blake Corum. If he was just there by himself, I don't know how good I would feel, but he is not there by himself. He's got a running back that could be better, could be one of the best in the country. We're not sure of this. I mean, he was rated that way coming out, and that's Donovan Edwards. You see on the screen, Donovan Edwards, he goes 6 feet, 200 pounds, but you look back just at his game log, and there was the one point, it was after the Maryland game when he had the 10 catches for the record, 170 yards, and had the 77-yard touchdown there against the Terps. That was his coming out party, talking about Donovan Edwards. It was after that game, Jim Harbaugh, I'll paraphrase it, but he basically, he gave it you're just, scratching the surface here when you talk about Edwards. I also remember the Ohio State game where they just threw a little flare out of the backfield to him, and he just, caught it with one hand, turned upfield for a little bit of a gain. And it was very natural. It was impressive. It just it was very fluid. You feel that, what Harbaugh was saying about Edwards, and that you're just scratching the surface. Then, the play that he'll be remembered for forever. And Michigan Lowers throwing that touchdown in the Big Ten title game to Roman Wilson. That thing was launched and a perfect pass, a thing of beauty by Edwards in the Big Ten title game. After that, you're looking for a goal line back, a bigger back. Like, I think Edwards and Corum, we'll see how they do in short yardage situations. I'm not that worried about it, but yeah, do you want a guy that whether you feel like a fullback or a bigger back in short yardage situations. Enter Tavier Dunlap, 6 feet, 222 pounds. Red-shirted, saw him a little bit last year. Also here in the spring, Khalil Mullings is moving around from playing linebacker to running back, and you can see the size on Mullings, 6'1", 236. That's a load if you're talking about a short yardage situation. Harbaugh likes that too. We know enough about Jim Harbaugh where he likes a bigger back in short yardage situations, whether it's the Red Panda or the bench, Khalil or the bench that was back there that they love giving the ball to in short yardage situations as well. Mullings, you can definitely see that, and a little bit of a wild card here, a kid that's not in for spring, but a true freshman on this 22 class, CJ Stokes, 5'11", 190. No, that's not somebody that you'd say that's not a big back, but they have a nose, pad level, whatever it is, short yardage situation, strength, being able to just sniff out and be able to get that half yard or yard or whatever you need, goal to go type situations, 4th and 1 type situations. And Haskins was good at that last year. He liked to jump over the pile sometimes to get it, but also had a pretty good nose of finding the gap, getting in there, getting skinny, finding his way, put his foot in the ground, all those different things you like to see and you hear about running backs that can get it done. But I would put the situations for Michigan at running back. They are in good hands when it comes to Corum and Edwards as a 1-2 punch. And then we will see about the rest. We just don't know. Mullings was a running back in high school, successful. He's got that size. We'll see. Could be one of those things that you look at in the spring game coming up on Saturday, just like, all right, how does Dunlap look? How does Mullings look? How does anybody else look that's back there? Another 5 different guys that they might hand the ball to. Does anybody stand out? There'll be things that people will monitor everything when it comes to the spring game. So that definitely will be one of them there. Now, Michigan yesterday, if you didn't see the show, they did get a commitment, their 7th commitment for the class of 2023. That's next year. Benjamin Hall. He is out of North Cobb High School in Kennesaw, Georgia. Doesn't have the ratings up there as of yet, 5'11", 230. Because he's not rated, has a lot of Michigan fans like, hey, how come he's not a 5-star? How come he's not a 4-star? Why is Michigan, signing this guy when there's you can go out there and get 5 stars? That is the lament of being a Michigan football fan. You're always going to, when anybody comes in, you follow recruiting in the offseason. If you follow it as much as the diehards, it works like this. You are always, excited and want the best possible and highest ranked player. And those are the 5 stars. And when you don't get that, you think, okay, 4-star, maybe this guy could be a 5-star. But when you're not getting those and you're getting less than 4 stars, people freak out. Why can't they recruit? Why are they settling? Why can't Michigan parlay their success last year? We heard about the relationships and how this was going to get a bump. They had a good recruiting class last year. And I think all of that, there's a couple things for people that are wired into it and live it daily. You probably don't want to hear perspective. I'll give you a little bit anyways. It's early. If we're sitting here in August and you're looking at the recruiting class and there's just not a whole lot there and you're thinking, this is, I think there's a little bit where you can say, hey, where's the momentum for the recruiting when you get to August? August is a long ways away. I mean, we're talking about 5 months. And then after that, some of the bigger names, that if I told you that if you get into after the high school season and up to the early signing period, if Michigan was in on, 5-10 guys and they were able to get half of them and they were 4 and 5 stars, you'd be fine. But, until then, can you complain about it and wonder about the philosophy? And yeah, you can. I think people that are even complaining about it, they understand. It's just something to complain about. You got 5 months until the season to complain about. You can't, it's not going to be about beating Ohio State. It's not going to be about getting to the Big Ten. That's the next complaint hurdle. hey, can you have continued success? And the expectation, like for me, Michigan was a top 10 for the last few years, and actually for a while. If Michigan's buzzing around the top 10, that was going to be fine with me. Although, did I want to see Michigan in the top 5 in recruiting across the board? Yeah. Yeah, I can see get them number 1 class, number 1 players, all of those things. And that is the next step. And these last 2 years, certainly this last year, now with the name, image, and likeness, that was thought to have been a little bit of a evening out situation when it came to being able to pay players and get name, image, and likeness, and how that's affecting. I think people were hoping that Michigan was going to be able to, grab more than their share, more than they had, and that would bump them up into the top 5. I mean, they bet they're in the top 10. To go from 10 to 5 and have your eyes on that. Yeah. And this is latest commitment, make you think like, hey, that's not getting us into the top 5. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you hear that and you understand what people are talking about. You understand also that there's a long ways to go. Antoine, it's always good to see Antoine here. And Antoine saying we definitely have 2 weapons in the backfield. I'd like to see Michigan run a Bill Walsh 49er style offense, which throws out of the backfield, and have them both in the backfield at the same time. Antoine saying he likes the linebacker commit from Florida, Raylan Wilson. Yeah, out of Tallahassee.
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
Oh, there's my watch. Sometimes I talk into it and she doesn't understand what I'm saying. Raylan Wilson, Tallahassee, linebacker. All right.
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
Yeah. Well, Surrey's not in.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, she's not in on the recruiting. I hear you, Antoine. Yeah, that it's. And I said it's early and all that. It's not like Samaj Morgan, Cole Cabana. You mentioned Wilson. Those guys are all 4 stars. Those are all guys that would be part of a could be top 5, certainly top 10 recruiting class for Michigan. So I was just complaining a little bit about the complainers, but I understand the complainers when it comes down to always wanting more and better. And here is the list that you can look at of Michigan and who they have in there. I guess I would fail to mention Rappelier, the tight end, who's also a 4-star on one of the 7. Having said that, Hall, the running back out of Georgia, here's some of his tape. Let's take a look at it. Let's see if anything pops here as we watch the running back starting out in slow motion and then weaving around there, getting to the end zone. I saw that this is the high school. Cobb, I think off the top of my head, is one of the bigger high schools down there in Georgia where they love their football. So there's a tough inside run. Here we are in the red zone, right next to the quarterback there. It doesn't look like the biggest guy. He's running inside the tackle there. That just ran for daylight. Put his head down, found the end zone there. Here we are, another type situation. It's a pistol situation, little zone read, kick it to the outside, able to use his speed. That game looked like it was on the road there. You see the big circle going up the middle again on the zone read, busts the tackle there, takes it into the end zone. Now we get an end zone look at Benjamin Hall on that zone read. Ooh, nice moves there at the line of scrimmage to. We've seen him bust some tackles, and right there we saw some jump cuts in the hole to find some daylight. That was, to me, was the most, even though I didn't get to the end zone, the most impressive run that I have seen from the young man. Here's one around the edge showing his speed and then the cutback ability. You like to see all these down by the red zone, able to see these tough runs. Here's one that I might have been able to gain a yard or 2. So he's got a nice offensive line. Oh, he's catching the ball out of the backfield. Never hurts to see that. Oh, it just levels. How about the corner didn't want any of that, although he showed up. He stuck his head in there and he got run over by Hall. You can see the moves here in the backfield. Is he going to be able to, at the college level, be able to set somebody up on their blocks like he is here. What we're watching in his high school tape, he's going to have to hit that hole harder. But you can see some of the talent as we watch this. Antoine commenting in, saying not very fast. Talking about Benjamin Hall, good vision. Wonder how strong he is. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the vision there and the footwork you can see. Running over a guy here, Antoine. You gotta like that. Yeah, that's how you wonder how do you get to be a 4 or 5 star? You have great speed, you have great tape, and you have great everything. And speed could be one thing that held Hall back from getting a 4 star. But I don't get I get it, but I don't get too wrapped up in the star system. And heck, now that he didn't have a bunch of different offers, now that Michigan's offered him, and you see this guy popping up, and who knows? You have guys that go from not being rated to 3, 4 stars, and a lot of Michigan fans. It wasn't lost on them mentioning Khalil Mullings moving over from linebacker to running back. That Hassan Haskins was had no tape, or he had tape, but wasn't very highly rated as a running back at all, and came in as a linebacker, and then busted out in that Notre Dame game at night in the rain. I remember being at that game and thinking, that was the Haskins game. Here's some speed for you, Antoine. Oh, caught from behind. All right, we'll watch 2 more plays here. This is Benjamin Hall. Michigan got the commitment from him yesterday, 7th commitment. Here's just a handoff to the right, making a guy or 2 miss, getting down the sideline and picking up a first down. Let's see if we got some pass blocking, or is he going to catch the ball? I'd like to see who's went up, get some nice ball skills. I don't know about the spacing between quarterback and running back there. A little screen, but just he had to go up a little bit and get that one. Here's the one last run. See the feet, breaking a couple tackles. I want him to get into the end zone. He's at the 30 here. I'd like to see him take this one to the house. Let's end it on a good note. Here it is, busted inside the 20. Antoine wants me to watch that Raylan Wilson tape. We'll do that. We'll do that this spring. I want to see a touchdown. When I said we're just going to watch 1 or 2 more, I'm looking for the TD. Could be it, down the sideline. Got a lot of film on Mr. Hall. Here's one. Maybe he's smelling it. That would be an impressive run if he was able to get to the end zone. He carries guys with him up the middle. You see, contact, yards after contact. Pretty good. Maybe here another little screen. And he is going to dump off. I didn't see what happened there. Maybe they're showing some good pass protection. There's a little run up the middle. You're taking it from the house from the 50. You better have a lot of daylight or some super speed. Here's one from a little bit outside the 30. Again, banging off guys, dragging them down inside the 20. This one's from his own 30. Yeah, he gets them in chunks. Looks like Biaka Batuka against Ohio State. 10, 15, 3, 5, 10, 15, 15, 15, 15. First, this is high school. That's not Ohio State on the other side of the ball, but 5, 10 yards of crack every time. Here's an outside game. Sunshine, moving the pile. It reminds me a little bit of Haskins. Wearing number 7. Standing up. Say, reminds you a little bit of Donovan Edwards. That's his number. I'm waiting on that elusive TD here. If I'm going to get one. Am I going to get one? One more play, that's it. It's close. Could be a touchdown. Could be a touchdown. He's at the 20 and down to the 15. Tackled there. Did not get to see that touchdown that I was looking for. All right, there he is. Antoine, want that TD as well. Yeah, we didn't get it. Didn't happen. I mentioned the spring game, and I was wondering yesterday as I put up the information on the spring game that I was looking at that I thought that maybe I missed it. I didn't miss it. The stadium is open at 11, and the team is supposed to be there at the stadium at 11:30. Knowing how spring games work, you get the team coming in there at 11:30. You're not going to really get any action until around noon. You'll get some stretching in there at 11:30. I'm there for all of it. I like all of that. My plan is to try to try to get in, try to be there at 11:30. That's right when I want to be there. And it gives you a few minutes there if you're going in to find a seat you're going to get more action around noon. Big Ten Network is starting at noon. And you're somebody that is there people that tailgate, go down there and make it an all-day event? Yes, they do. That's why you see Pioneer High School, they're opening things up at 7 o'clock. There will be people tailgating like it's a party. Let's go. It's the fall. I've seen them. And I like it all day long. It's a great day when you look at it, great sports day. You can get down. How about get the Pioneer at 7, go into the stadium at 11, get back, tailgate at 3, somehow find your way home by 6 o'clock to watch the Final Four. And then the next morning you can wake up, punch up the Maize and Blue Review, and you can get our thoughts and what we saw at the spring game. I'm planning on going down there, watching it from the stadium. You see going to be on the radio as well. This was the temperature yesterday, 48, high of 48.34. Let's see if they've made an adjustment. You know how things work in Michigan when it comes down to the weather report. And that was what I had put up there yesterday, 48 degrees. And the possibility of coming up ahead here. Let me look. 48 and 34. Same thing. Calling for the same thing on Saturday. 48 degrees, although I see a 48% chance of rain. Partly cloudy in the morning, increasing clouds with periods of showers later in the day. Chance of rain 50% later in the day. So at least right now, that could change. And rain could change. Rain could change my outlook on whether or not I'm going to go out there or not. Yours as well. Say you're a fair weather fan. You could be pointing at me, and I'd say I know what you're saying. Could happen. All right, that's it. Talk some running backs. Saddi Washington staying at Michigan. Spring game on Saturday. Hoping that rain doesn't show up till 4 or 5 o'clock when everybody is going home from the tailgates, going home and getting ready for the Final Four. We'll talk more about the spring tomorrow, what to look for, and of course we'll do it on Friday as well. This one will just be one day away. Thanks for watching. We're here every day. Maize and Blue Review, afternoon live.